Hola estudiantes, hoy vamos a hablar de las palabras interrogativas y las exclamaciones. So grab your books and your notebooks. You should be open to a new, clean, fresh sheet of paper ready to take notes. Remember how you're supposed to divide your paper. You'll do your practice activities at the bottom, questions on the left-hand side, and all of the important information right in the middle. Make sure you title the top of your notes, los interrogativos y las exclamaciones. Make a note of where this is found in your textbook. Should be on pages 8 and 9. So, once you've got all those things ready, you can move forward. If you're looking at page 8, you should see the list of question words. You should already know what they are and what they mean. What we're doing now is looking at how to use them appropriately and how they can be tricky for us as English speakers. What you need to know is that to interrogate leads to the word interrogative. Remember that interrogate means to question. We interrogate someone when we want to get information from them. So interrogative words are used for questioning people. They are there so that the listener knows that you are seeking some sort of information. What you should remember is that they always, 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 always have an accent mark. That tells us that we are starting with a question that we want some sort of information. Look at the example. ¿Cuándo empieza la fiesta? Where's your question word? Well, it's easy to identify here because it has an accent mark. So you're right, it's going to be cuando. ¿Cuándo empieza la fiesta? Remember, the upside down question mark is necessary at the beginning of the sentence. That lets your reader, if you're in written language, know that you are asking a question, as does the written accent mark on the question word. Remember, too, that the same words can be used in declarative statements. Cuando and cuando can be used as a question word in a question or as a linking word or a conjunction in a regular statement. And if it's used in a declarative statement as a conjunction, it is not necessary to write an accent mark. Why? Because it's not an interrogative. So let's look at this example. Cuando llegues a casa, limpia tu cuarto. This is not a question. I'm just simply saying, when you get home, clean your room. It's actually a demand. It's not a question. Therefore, we do not need an accent mark over our question word because it's not a question word here. It's a conjunction. Any questions? Don't forget to write them in the left-hand margin of your notes. A declarative statement may also imply a question, which means, yes, we need an accent mark. Anytime we are lacking information or we need information, we are going to use a question word with a question mark. So, this implies that you need to know something or you don't know something. Look at the following examples. ¿Cómo llego a Starbucks? How do I get to Starbucks? It's a question. That's obvious for us because we have the upside down question mark. In writing, we have the tone of voice that implies a question, and then we also have the written accent mark on our interrogative word that starts our question. Now, a declarative statement can also imply a need for information. For example, no sé cómo lo vas a hacer. This is an interrogative because you don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know how you are going to do that. Another example, ¿por qué quiere aprender Paco el tango? Why does Paco want to learn the tango? No estoy segura por qué. Él es muy torpe. I'm not sure why. He's very, very clumsy. Again, we're not sure why. That's implying a question, which means that we are going to use it as a question word, which means por qué is two separate words, and we have an accent mark on the K. So, let's practice. Pause the video and decide if the underlined words need an accent mark. Write your answers at the bottom of your notes page. Go ahead and number 1 through 10. Great, you're ready to go on. So let's see what the answers are. Does donde need a question mark? An accent mark? Of course it does. It's a question. What about number 2? No entiendo qué significa espaldaloro. Yes, because you don't know what something means. Yo tengo tantos amigos como tú. Doesn't, because we're using it as a comparative word here. La profesora prefiere que nosotros estudiemos mucho. Nope, because it's a conjunction. ¿Cuándo llegas a casa normalmente? Yes, it's a question. No sé cómo se llama el chico nuevo. You don't know what his name is. You need to know it's a question word. Yo soy de un lugar donde hay mucha música. Not a question. Don't need any information. We're just describing. No accent mark. ¿Cuánto cuesta este bolso? Well, of course it does. It's a question. Clara no sabe que vamos a darle una fiesta de sorpresa. It's a conjunction here. ¿Qué haces tú mañana por la noche? Of course, it's a question. Okay, a few more things to remember. Prepositions, just like in English, are muy, muy importante. Prepositions describe relationships between words. They are locators of time and place. They are useful and necessary, and not using them can result in misunderstandings. So just because you don't know which preposition to use doesn't mean you can leave it off. Review them. They are usually a, de, en, por, para, and sobre. So watch out for the following. To say at what time, you're going to need an a, like this. ¿A qué hora empieza la película? Que, leaving the a off, ¿qué hora empieza la película is not going to be understood. To say where, you'll also need an a. Sorry, to where. Don't forget it's one word. ¿A dónde vas? To where are you going? You will need other prepositions. Don't forget that you can't leave them off. ¿En qué casa de Hogwarts estarías? In what house of Hogwarts would you be in? And ¿para qué necesitas el dinero? For what do you need the money? Okay, so let's talk about que and cuál. They're both question words or interrogatives, as we already know. They both can mean what, but que also always means what, while cuál can also mean what or which. So, when do we use which one, either que or cuál? Well, here's how they're different. They're usually used with the verb ser. When que is with ser, it implies that you are looking for a definition, an explanation, or an identification. You are looking for information to identify something. Often, this will be used with a preposition, as we have already seen. ¿Qué es el flamenco? We're looking for a definition. ¿Sobre qué es el libro? There's your preposition. ¿Cuál is used when you have to choose between two or more things, or if there are many possibilities. Where in English we would usually say what, here we're going to use cuál in Spanish. So look at the examples. ¿Cuál es la capital de Brasil? Which out of all the cities in Brazil is the capital? ¿Cuál es tu materia favorita? Which out of all the subjects is your favorite one? Remember that cuál can be plural as cuáles when referring to something plural. ¿Cuál es tu color favorito? ¿Cuáles son tus colores favoritos? Yes, they both need accent marks. ¿Cuál and cuáles because they are, yep, question words. So, do you remember the main difference between que and cuál? I'll give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Yep, you got it. Que is for information and cuál usually for when you have to choose. So let's practice. Pause the video, write numbers 1 through 5 down at the bottom of your page, and decide which one you should use. Que, cuál, o cuáles. So let's check out the answers. Which sombrero do you prefer? ¿Cuál? What do you like to eat for breakfast? Que. What did you buy in the store? Que. Which are your favorite shoes? ¿Cuáles? And what is the weather like? ¿Qué tiempo hace? Excelente, estudiantes favoritos. All right, let's flip over to page 13. As an extension of question words, we're going to look at exclamations. These are very, very, very useful and used a lot in Spanish. This is going to come in handy if you ever want to react to what someone else is saying, because we know we do that all the time. So how do we do it? Well, there's a few ways. First, use the interrogative word que, yes, with an accent, and then an adjective or a noun. That means how, as in, how awesome is Miss Dexter? Qué divertido es la clase de español. Qué alegría verte. Okay, we can also use como, which means how, but as in what manner, and usually it's with a verb, like como llueve, look at how it's raining. Or como canta Enrique, oh how he sings. The last way to do it is with cuánto, some form of cuánto, how much or how many. So, ¿cuánto pareces a tu hermana? How much you look like your sister. ¿Cuánto ruido hacen los niños? How much noise those kids are making. This time, since we're making exclamations instead of questions, we're going to be using exclamation points. That makes sense, right? Notice that we still need the accent marks. Oops, I left one off. ¿Cuánta comida come Paco? Oh, look at how much food Paco's eating. So let's practice. Go ahead and pause the video and take your best guess at what these exclamations mean. Okay, so here's something similar to what you should have. What an interesting guy is Enrique Iglesias. How much I love talking with him. Or the last one, how happy I am to be his friend. How much fun we had when we hung out last night. And how I would like to see him again. Did you get those? Remember, any questions you have, write them down so I'll know that you have questions. Okay, that's it guys. Have an awesome evening and I will see you mañana.